Hello and welcome to your class today. Today's class is in honor of Halloween. So this class is for the idea of honoring ancestors, which is traditionally what Halloween is all about. It's this unveiling of the spiritual world into the real world or the physical world. Today's practice will be exploring more about the idea of death and what that means for us, which can bring up a lot of fear of the unknown. So we're going to sort of play with that concept today during our practice. So if you enjoy aerial yoga content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so that you get notified whenever I release a new class. So we're gonna come and start in our hammock. So grab the front edge, wave it on open, step away from your rigging point so that it stays open behind you. Spread the fingers nice and wide, and then grab the hammock about 4 rounds into your hands. You're gonna step back underneath your plumb line, thumbs come out, press down and come into a seat. Coming into a nice comfy seat. We're gonna come and start in corpse pose today. We are gonna come up back into our seat, but just to get settled into our body, let's come and lay down all the way inside. You may need to caterpillar a little bit more hammock either underneath the head or the feet, depending on where it ended up. So laying head and shoulders inside, feet inside, everything is inside of the hammock. And this can be our corpse pose or our shavasana pose, hammock pose. You might keep your eyes open, you might close your eyes all the way. Just spending a moment here to settle into your body and into the rhythm of how you're feeling today. Start to scan your physical body for any sensations that you're noticing. Giving yourself this opportunity to check in, noticing what you notice with a compassionate and gentle awareness. Notice anywhere that maybe you've been a little harsh on yourself lately. And then can you choose to recognize that and choose to be more compassionate? And sometimes if we have a really hard, harsh internal world that we've practiced for a long time, it can feel really difficult to be compassionate. So sometimes we just notice wherever you feel like you're being too harsh and just coming back to this place of acceptance, to just noticing. And feel yourself start to soften into this moment. Start to connect your mind to your breath and take a deeper breath in. A big breath out. Feel yourself get a little heavier. Take a couple more big breaths, just like that, maybe sighing out to empty out, dropping into your body. This idea of death can be really scary. And so we're going to use that idea and notice where we might be feeling those big fears inside in our internal world. Maybe it's represented in our external world. And maybe we use the idea of our ancestors, the people that we have loved and have lived, and maybe who are now gone, have passed over to that other spiritual place. We use this idea of unknown, this idea of death, and noticing what wisdom we can gain from this. How can we hold ourselves in a compassionate embrace so that we can get stronger, we can become a better version of ourselves. We can use the idea of death to help ourselves move forward. Let's take a big good morning stretch. Reach the arms overhead, get nice and long. And then take a little sway of your body from side to side. Like a banana shape, swaying arms and legs in the same direction, feeling a stretch through the sides of your body, one at a time. When you feel balanced on both sides, come back to center. Reach up and grab your hammock edge that's wrapped around your head. Bring your feet outside and pull up into a seat. We're going to keep gripping that hammock edge in our hands and then open up the hands like big wings. Bring your ankles together and then slide the hands down towards each other. You're going to start to feel an opening through your shoulders. Sliding hands down. Pinky fingers may touch, but they don't need to. Just start to open up through your heart, get nice and proud. Take a deep breath in here. Maybe you look up slightly. We're going to take a forward fold, but keep the hand grip on that back edge. So the shoulders are going to slide through. You can ground through your toes on the ground if they reach. And then the hands are going to come all the way up and over as you fold forward. Can you pull your hands against the hammock? So creating tension between the hands. And then you're going to feel the shoulder blades ignite. Let your chin come into your chest a little heavier. Take 2 big breaths here, conscious breaths, deep breath in. And a big breath out. Enjoying this forward fold, inhale. And exhale. Releasing your hands, give yourself a hug underneath the knees. And curling in on yourself, you might rock a little forward and back. And sometimes the unknown idea of death is so scary that we need to spend these moments loving ourselves and holding ourselves in a place of comfort and compassion. So feeling into that energy now. Maybe there is some heaviness that you're experiencing, and maybe you just give yourself a nice big hug and say, it's okay to experience this. It's gonna move on soon. Gonna come back up into a seat. So release your hug, reach both hands up to the sky. Shoulders come back inside. Listen close. Your feet are gonna lift off the ground. We're gonna turn ourselves towards the right. So left hand's gonna reach up onto the right pole, the back piece, and then start to slide onto the right side of your body. So you're like in a big good morning stretch, laying on that right side. Left shoulder is stacked over right. Left hip is stacked over right hip as well. Take an inhale, get longer. As you exhale, curling elbows and knees in to touch. Inhale to lengthen out, big stretch long. And then exhale, curling in. One more inhale, reach it out long. This time, bend your heels into your glutes and then reach back for a foot. Kick your foot into your hand. It's like a little back bend here. Your gaze can lift up. Maybe it looks up towards your left hand. Take an inhale. As you exhale, release. Both hands are reaching up onto your hammock to pull yourself back up into a seat. Keep gripping onto the back edge with both hands. Sliding wide through the hands. Ankles together. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. Start to slide the hands down towards each other. Shoulders are going to come through the center until you're coming into a forward fold. Toes are grounded. Lift up those hands up towards the sky. Pull hands away from each other, creating tension on your hammock. Feel your shoulder blades light up. Let your chin come into your chest. Relax the crown of your head. Take a deep breath in. Big breath out. One more like that. Inhale. Full breath out. Releasing your hands. Give yourself a big hug. A comforting embrace. You might be still here, just embracing yourself. You might rock a little from forward and back. Take a full body breath in. A full body breath out. Inhale to release, reaching hands up to the sky, heart stacks over the hips. Start to turn yourself to the left. So you're going to turn and lay on the left side of your body. So right hip and shoulder are stacking. Take a big breath in, reach long, and then exhale, curling elbows and knees in. Inhale to extend and reach long. And exhale, curling in. One more inhale, reaching out long. Pause here. Bend your heels into your glutes and reach back for a foot. You might kick your foot into your hand, hold here for an inhale. Maybe gaze goes up, exhale. And then releasing and coming back into a seat. Twisting back through center. Both hands are grabbing the back edge. Last one, slide your hands down nice and close to each other, wide and then close to each other. Feet are gonna come onto the ground this time. And then take the shoulders all the way through. Find your forward fold. Separate the feet about hip width distance apart. We're gonna come all the way out of the hammock into a forward fold as we keep binding through the hands. So feet are all the way on the ground. Hips are lifted, still gripping the hammock between the hands, head forward. Take a big breath in. Good, as you exhale, release your hands. Maybe you give yourself another little hug, bending through the knees. You can rock a little from side to side here, through the head or shoulders. And starting to release the hands to the ground. We're gonna come all the way down into a tabletop. So coming onto hands and knees. Your wrists are gonna come underneath the shoulders, knees will stack underneath your hips. Your hammock is sort of up above your tailbone. So if you look up and over your right shoulder, your right foot is gonna come inside. Take a second to get it in there. And then we're in our tabletop, but in a, in a tabletop with a foot in the hammock. We're gonna tuck the left toes coming into a down dog. So pushing into the earth and lifting up through the hips. You might find a straight arms and straight legs, locking everything out. Just notice how that feels. And then we're gonna find a bent, soft down dog today. So bend through both knees. And then bend the elbows a little bit as well. Good, everything is still engaged. Keep that soft bend. This is our down dog today. Soft bend through the elbows and through the knees. You're gonna shift your shoulders over your wrists and then tuck both knees into your chest, lifting the left foot off the ground. Step the left foot back. Soft down dog, lift up through the hips. Shoulders pull forward, knees tuck in. Step it back and lift the hips, soft down dog. We're gonna do that a few more times. So pulling forward and stepping back. We're gonna be here for another 5. Nice and controlled. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. You're gonna land on that down dog. This time you're gonna pull forward, so the left knee is gonna lift up into the chest again, but you're gonna land in a pigeon pose. So the left knee is gonna go nice and wide. As you lay your shin bone across the top of the mat, knee is wider than your hip joint. Hands are gonna stay on the ground. If this is too intense of a stretch, because that right foot is in the hammock still, you can walk your hands forward a little bit. So lifting through the hips to come out of it. Otherwise, walk the hands back and sinking through the hips. Keep flexing through your right toes so the foot stays in the hammock. You're gonna be here for a couple of breaths. Sinking into your emotional body, scanning your emotional body for sensation. We hold a lot of emotional energy in our hips. So just spend a moment here meditating on the sensations that you're experiencing in this shape. Finding acceptance for whatever you're noticing. Noticing if there is any fear of the unknown. If this emotion did not exist, it died, then what would that feel like? And does that feel scary? And that's okay if it feels scary. Take one more deep breath in and breath out. Okay, this next transition is a little tricky, so bear with me. We're gonna lift up through the hips. And you push into the hands to step your left knee back a little bit. So we're still in this pigeon pose shape. We're then gonna take our weight into the left glutes. You're gonna maybe lower through the chest so we can get that right foot out nice and long. Try and keep the foot in the hammock. The heel might slip out. That's okay, we're gonna fix that in a second. Stargazer, left hand's gonna land behind your left hip. And press up onto your shin bone, lifting through the hips. Right hand's gonna reach up and over. Be careful of that left wrist on the ground. You can always turn the fingers in a different direction if the wrist is being compromised here. It doesn't feel okay. Good. We're gonna bend your right heel into your glute, that hammock leg. Reaching back for your foot. Maybe you can kick your foot into your hand, or you're just gonna reach for it. Then we're gonna swing right arm and leg long. So they're creating a horizontal line. And then toe and finger is gonna tap out in front. Reach it out long. Bend the heel into the glute. Tap it behind. Good, reach it long, tap it in front. Tap it behind one more time. And then go long, settling your hip bones onto the ground. Good, both hands are gonna come behind you. Keep that right foot inside, left foot is planting. And then we're gonna lift up through our hips so we can get that foot back inside, like a reverse tabletop. And then hips are gonna come back down. Move that left foot away from you a little bit. Grab onto your hammock if you can. Maybe you bend the knee a little bit so you can grab up as high as you can through the hands. You're gonna press into that left foot. We're gonna think about pointing this right toe up to the sky. So weight is gonna come into the hand grip, so lock down through the shoulders. Lifting through the hips, press into that left knee. Right foot's gonna lift, hips lift, and lower the sit bones back down. 2 more like that. Point that right foot all the way up to the sky, and then bring it back. Good, last one. Lift it, lower it. Nice, releasing hands all the way behind you. You're gonna come all the way down onto the ground. So lying down, left foot's gonna come inside of the hammock. And we're gonna pause here. So both feet are inside, you're lying on your back. Just be still here for a moment. Nice long, deep breaths. That is what happens after lots of movement, and then you come into stillness. Notice how everything is churning, everything is recalibrating. Where do you want that recalibration to go? What direction do you want to give it? We're going to release our knees into our chest, so bring your feet outside of the hammock. Knees are going to hug into the chest. Arms are opening wide to a T. Send both knees over to the left for a spinal twist. Take a deep breath in. Breathing into your belly. Big breath out of the shoulders, relaxing through the shoulders. One more breath in. And breath out. Bring your knees through center and then take them all the way over to the right. Taking 2 breaths into your belly, breath in. And breathe out of your shoulders, get grounded. One more breath in. And breath out. Bringing your knees back through center. Grabbing behind your knees, rock and roll along the length of your spine. And coming up all the way into a seat. We're gonna rock over our knees. So you can bring the feet to the side or rock over the knees to come into kneeling. And then I'm gonna take the hammock, because it's behind you now, or should be. Grabbing thumbs face down, and then take the head into the hammock for a little bit of a neck decompression. If this feels uncomfortable, you might try walking back a little bit. It's gonna lift the head, so there's not so much weight in the head. Option to just stay here, just relaxing as much as you can, relaxing through your jaw. Also, an option is to bind your hands, interlace them behind you, and then press the arms away from the body. Take one more big breath in, and breath out. Releasing your hands, grip back onto your hammock to take weight into the hand grip, to lift yourself up, and then hands are coming down in front of you, back into your tabletop. Shifting your knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath the shoulders. You're gonna look over your left shoulder, left leg is gonna come inside. Nice. And then we're gonna take this into our soft down dog. So we might find a straight down dog first, a little bit more traditional, straightening the elbow, straightening the knees, lifting up through the sit bones. And then start to soften, play with the soft knee through bent knees. A soft elbow, bending through both elbows. Keep that buoyancy through those joints. Then start to shift the shoulders forward over the wrists like a plank. Tuck both knees to the chest, land it back, and lift the hips, soft down dog. And do that a few times, shifting forward to tuck the knees, and then landing back. You can think about also getting the hips over the shoulders if you'd like. You don't have to, you can keep it more like a plank spine. You're gonna be here from the 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's land in a pigeon pose. Right knee is gonna land behind your right wrist, nice and soft. Laying a shin bone across the top of the mat. Flexing through your left toes to keep the foot in the hammock. And again, this is uncomfortable, it's too much. Shift forward onto the hands more. So take more weight into the hand grip instead of through the lower body. Your right knee is wider than your hip joint, just check in. We're feeling a lot of sensation, a big stretch through the front of the left leg, like the hip flexor and quad, and then also through the outside of the right leg that's on the ground. Nice long deep breaths. Checking into your emotional body, again on this side. Each side of your body is a little different, or a lot different. Just noticing what sensations through that emotional scanning of your body feels like on this side. Sometimes you'll have different emotions stored on each side of your body. Sometimes it can create a new perspective on the same story that's on a repeat. What can you notice about the patterning that's inside of you? And can you open up to the possibility, to the unknown of that patterning maybe dying, maybe becoming renewed? One more deep breath in and breath out. Take a little more weight into the hand grip, lift your hips. You're gonna step your right knee back and then take your chest down so you can turn your left leg out wide like a seated tree. Not here for long. Right hand's gonna land behind your right hip. Press up into the shin bone like a big stargazer. Feels good to sort of turn those fingers to the back wall a little bit more. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, bend your left heel to your glute, reach back for your foot. Maybe you can grab it on the inside edge. And then inhale, find some movement, reach out long. Then reach it out to the front, tap the toes, out long, and tap it behind. And do a couple more like that. Swinging the leg to the front and to the back. How's the shoulder and hip joint feel today? Come back nice and long. Sit bones to the ground. Your left leg's gonna come in front of you. Both hands are gonna come to the ground in front of you. Right foot is on the ground. Lift up the hips, reverse tabletop. Lift that left foot a little bit so the hammock comes up the leg. And settle hip bones back onto the ground. You're gonna reach up and grab your hammock nice and high. You can bend the knee a little bit, just as high as it feels comfortable. You're gonna press into that right foot. Think about getting the toes up towards the sky. So hands are gonna take weight. Weight is gonna come into a hand grip. And then you're gonna lift the hips, draw that left toe up, and then hip bones back down. Good, 2 more lifts. Toes are trying to get to the roof, and lower. Last one, lift, and lower. Good. Come all the way down onto your back. Bring both feet inside, and then take stillness here. This is our final shape. Gonna be still, maybe 20 seconds. Just allowing everything to get super still. You might feel a tingly sensation through your body as your nervous system calms itself. Feeling the strength that you've created internally and externally. 10 more seconds. Start to take a deep breath in. Big breath out. Releasing your feet from the hammock, bring your knees to hug into your chest. Grab behind your knees, rock up into a seat, and we'll seal our practice together with a final breath. Take your hands somewhere in your body that feels comfortable, nice tall spine. You can open or close your eyes. Empty out. Inhale as a community together. And exhale as a community. Bring your chin to your chest, bowing your mind to your heart. Know that you are stronger than you think you are. You're braver than you think you are. Your potential for confidence, your potential for being worthy and being enough is more expansive than maybe you've given yourself credit for so far, maybe than you're aware of. But know that this work truly is important and makes a difference in the world. So thank you so much for joining me in your practice today. It's been an honor and a privilege to guide you home. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me in your practice today. Let me know how it felt in your body, if the concept of death coming into the practice was helpful for you. If you got anything from it, let me know in the comments. I read all of them. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button for more content just like this, and I'll see you in the next video. If you're still in the mood for some spooky flow for Halloween, I would highly recommend checking out this flow for a 5-pose spooky flow, great for shoulders. And then also this one is really great for some inspiration, where I dress up as a spooky doll and do a inspiring sequence. So check it out.